the debates that have been going on in these sessions. The topic I've been asked to address is quite vast, and it could take a lot of angles, but I thought I would take just one area. Looking at the BRICS nations, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, they have emerged as significant players in the global economy. Their combined potential and influence have the power to shape the future of economic growth and development. Therefore, economic transformation is a crucial aspect of any developing nation's journey towards prosperity, requiring a shift from a resource-based economy to one that is diversified, knowledge-driven, and technologically advanced. Without those, we cannot start to talk about transformation. BRICS countries, with their vast resources and immense human capital, possess the potential to achieve this transformation and become global economic powerhouses. Please note that I said potential, therefore that still needs to be realized. Furthermore, fostering a culture of entrepreneurship and supporting small, medium, and micro-sized enterprises is essential. SMEs are known to be engines of job creation and innovation. Let us not make that a pipe dream. And by providing them with the necessary support and enabling environment, BRICS countries can unlock their full potential and drive economic growth. It is in all our interests for South Africa and all her people to grow and to thrive. And for that, we need to stimulate investment. I think we know this through the President's initiative on the investment conferences. I was interested to note that recently, Cabinet approved the draft bill on public procurement, which lays down a broad framework for procurement across government and seeks to create a single framework for public procurement. It is hoped that this draft bill seeks to achieve what it sets out to do, which includes promoting localization, supporting local innovation and research, and advancing procurement from South Africa's SMMEs. It is also hoped and expected that the draft bill will give a major boost to public-private partnerships. For us at Implants, investing in SA Inc., stimulating local economic development, and building close and constructive partnerships are close to our hearts. As one of South Africa's foremost producers of platinum group metals, our stated purpose is to create a better future through and beyond mining. We are invested in growing and securing the competitiveness of the regional industry through our investments in growth, beneficiation, and our mine host communities. We are committed to doing the right thing for the long haul. A stronger platinum group metals industry is undoubtedly in the national and regional interest. In fact, we believe we are the only platinum group metals miner with such a bullish view towards the country and the region. At President Cyril Ramaphosa's South African Investment Conference in March last year, we announced that we will commit close to 50 billion rands to our capital investment program over 5 years. Of this, 9 billion rand is earmarked to expand our South African and Zimbabwean smelting and refining mining facilities. You will note that I've included Zimbabwe because one of our biggest mines and plants is in Zimbabwe, and we believe in the integration of the region. These projects will benefit the Southern African region's production, reduce the processing environmental footprint, and directly increase local beneficiation. And this will position the region more competitively as a global mine-to-market PGM producer, and as we move into the new just transition period. In addition, you will have noted during the last few weeks in the media that we have purchased a majority stake in Royal Bafokeng Platinum, a deal which triggers major public interest benefits in terms of preferential procurement, supporting local beneficiation, and investing in innovations related to the hydrogen economy. Implant's control of RB+ generates significant public interest benefits. These complement the group's already material contribution to the socio-economic development of the Rustenburg region and South Africa more broadly. Just a few salient points. The proposed B structure is expected to create significant incremental broad-based empowerment benefits, committing to about 20% of which to be spent on beyond compliance projects. This enables Implants to support improved sustainable long-term SME support and increased localization and supplier support. It enables us to continue to support in terms of economic and social stability of 495,000 people, promoting local beneficiation initiatives, and supports in particular South Africa's involvement in a future hydrogen economy. Implants will co-fund projects related to hydrogen technology or its commercialization in South Africa. These projects will seek to benefit local communities around Implants operations. So we are hoping that this will prove that we not only talk, but we walk our talk in terms of both transformation and innovation. Collaboration and knowledge sharing among the BRICS nations are vital for economic transformation and innovation. By fostering cooperation in areas such as technology transfer, joint research projects, and sharing best practices, those countries can accelerate their progress and avoid reinventing the wheel as we continue to look forward to these engagements. This brings me to the power of partnerships. The investments I have outlined thus far relate mainly to our ambitions related to growing SA Inc., increasing beneficiation and localization, and boosting preferential procurement. Now I would like to outline the art of the possible related to triple Ps. With the correct frameworks and management, PPPs are being deployed to assist in solving some of South Africa's more intractable electricity and rail logistic constraints to boost the country's economic performance. We have had productive experiences in 2 triple Ps relating to water provision. As we know, water is a highly newsworthy, if contentious topic in Johannesburg right as we speak. Over the past decades, there has been increasing pressure on listed and multinational companies to properly understand their environmental and social impact, to commit to sustainable and operational business practices, and to develop innovative models and initiatives. Listed companies are aligned with global reporting requirements and frameworks, which require rigorous monitoring and analysis. By using data to understand our impact and the impact of resource scarcity and climate change, we can better understand our vulnerabilities and risks, and implement pragmatic, results-driven models with appropriate timeframes and within rigorous governance and reporting frameworks. I believe this is a powerful foundation for positive social impact. We assist with strategic regional planning and local service provision around the Rustenburg and broader Northwest region. We work with local stakeholders to address immediate needs and ensure that bulk infrastructure is maintained and long-term planning is in place. At the same time, we work tirelessly to improve our internal water use. Our goal is to achieve 70% water recycling and reuse by 2030. We believe that the private sector can and must lead the way in demonstrating the art of the possible in terms of sustainable water use. The scale of the challenge, however, is too great for it to be solved by business alone. The answer is sustainable access to water. The answer to sustainable access to water, we believe, lies in strategic triple Ps. Alongside other commercial water users, Implus is part of two of these, as I've indicated, the Olifants Management Model and the Rustenburg Water Services Trust, which indicate the exciting potential of these models to support the development of effective, long-term water infrastructure. Our strategic partnership in the Rustenburg Water Services Trust has realized several benefits: secured supplies for mining, increased freshwater availability, and improvements in downstream water quality through better wastewater treatment. The partnership inspired a World Bank case study which concluded the Rustenburg case proved that relatively small and financially weak municipalities can raise significant funding through well-structured projects with strong revenue streams from private sources, and that there is a high potential for replication in areas where industry has a stake in improving the outcomes. In conclusion, economic transformation and innovation are essential for the continued growth and development of BRICS countries. I would like to emphasize that by investing in research and development, supporting entrepreneurship, fostering collaboration, and prioritizing sustainability, these nations can unlock their full potential and become global leaders in the 21st century. Let us work together to build a future that is prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable for all, and not be seen as running our way as emigrants from our own countries. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
As she takes her seat, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a big round of applause one more time. Now, this day has certainly been filled with so many amazing conversations, and this one right here was really just another one that really just put the icing on top of the cake when it comes to just the exciting prospect of what still lies ahead for South Africa, especially with the partnerships that will come from the BRICS summit itself, that of course is just around the corner. We're still going to hear from we're still going to have the keynote address by the President of the Republic of South Africa in a short little while. But for now, starters will be served, and while you enjoy your starter, we've got an amazing band right here who's going to just razzle dazzle you dizzy. So please turn your attention to Jazz Mukwena.
SABC.
So your previous comment, your
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to this amazing, spectacular jazz band. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping that you enjoyed the starters. It is certainly just the kickoff when it comes to what the chef has prepared for everyone. So, in the interest of time, though, we'd like to get all the formalities out of the way. So we'll get started straight ahead with that. So now we're going to hear some remarks as well as the introduction of the President, and this is going to be done by the Minister of Transport. So let's please put our hands together and welcome on stage Honorable Minister Siwe Chikunga.
Thank you very much, Program Director, His Excellency President of the Republic, Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa, Cabinet Ministers and Deputy Ministers who are with us here tonight, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, all dignitaries, all protocol observed. It is indeed a great honor to have spent most of my day here today. We engaged in meaningful discussions in BRICS colloquium, which indeed was held from early this morning. Mr. President, I must report that this has been a very fruitful day. We engaged between our own South African business people, ministers, and counterparts in the BRICS alliance. We also today deliberated and ensured that we agree on some few things. Deliberations made here today, Mr. President, have given me personally a great sense of enthusiasm about the untold possibilities that lie ahead of us. I'm particularly inspired by the young people who are doing great things in business and excited at the prospect of collaboration with their counterparts in the BRICS countries, as the TG indicated. I am tempted to say that we are living at a key time in history where much can change for the better, not only for our beloved South Africa, but for our continent, Africa as well. Mr. President, I wish to thank and acknowledge the work of the Progressive Business Forum, led by our Treasurer General of the mighty African National Congress, the inspirational Dr. Gwen Ramaphosa. The work I saw today has inspired us so much, and I must say that I'm excited about the potential economic spin-offs in what will be excellent geopolitical collaborations. Mr. President, tonight is about your say. It is always an honor not only to serve this great nation under your astute leadership, but also sit and soak from the wisdom naturally endowed to you by your Creator above. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my singular honor and great pleasure to ask that we all stand and put our hands together for the #1 citizen of South Africa, my comrade and my president, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa.
be seated quickly, please. Program Director, you have such a deep voice, and I'm going to try to emulate you. But thank you very much for regaling us with your really beautiful voice. And it's good that you told us that you identified it yourself when you were still young. So thank you very much for chartering us through this evening with your great ability. ANC Treasurer General, Comrade Ramaphosa, ministers who are here present, and deputy ministers, members of the Progressive Business Forum, leaders of business organizations, esteemed leaders of institutions of knowledge, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor to be in your presence at this gala dinner. When I was first informed about it, I was not absolutely certain that it would be a gala dinner that has so many people, but more importantly, so many people who have spent the day together at the colloquium discussing issues of great pertinence to the future of our country and indeed our continent. So I really appreciate being here amongst you, and I just wish that I had the opportunity to do so earlier as well. And it is also good to hear that so many of you have participated so enthusiastically around the issue of BRICS and as part of the BRICS colloquium, which I'm told went extremely well. Your presence here this evening is indeed a clear demonstration and an indication of the broad interest in the opportunities presented by South Africa's participation in BRICS. The BRICS group of countries exists not only to strengthen government-to-government relations, but also to forge stronger ties between the peoples of the five nations that constitute BRICS. It is for this reason that several bodies have been established to enable cooperation across the societies in the five nations. And these various institutions include bodies like the BRICS Business Council, the BRICS Women's Business Alliance, the BRICS Think Tanks Council, the BRICS Civil Society Forum, and the various BRICS political parties as well, and also what we may never have thought about, but there are also going to be BRICS sporting events that will take place later this year. Now these bodies, amongst others, I recall when we met at the last face-to-face summit and we discussed sporting events amongst our BRICS countries, and we all, as the leaders of BRICS, felt that that would enhance people-to-people contacts and relationships, and I've been very, very pleased that that is becoming the reality, that it will be soon. Now these many bodies seek to promote, yes, as I said, people-to-people contact. This embraces travel and tourism between the BRICS countries. It also creates opportunities to business partnerships, trade, and investment. So this colloquium which you had, which you held before the BRICS Political Party Dialogue, in many ways provides an important platform for engagement among sectors of our society that are deeply involved in the development of our people and the progress of our countries. Next month, South Africa will be hosting the 15th BRICS Summit here in Johannesburg. And that is a wonderful opportunity. It is an opportunity and a moment which I would like at some stage that the people of our country must get to understand fully what it means. We are the smallest economy of the other 4 countries, and many people often say we punch way above our welterweight or lightweight or whatever, or our weight. And indeed we do. But it also goes to show the important role that South Africa plays on the global stage as well. Much as we are a small country by population compared to the other big, gigantic BRICS member countries, we are seen as playing a very key strategic role, small and tiny as we are. And this is due to who you are as South Africans. And you need to applaud yourselves because your name as South Africans plays an important role in the world. And this will be the first BRICS summit since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic that the BRICS summit will be held in person. And all of us as the BRICS leaders, yes indeed, also at ministerial level, at the various institutional level, business, political parties, you name it, all of us are looking forward to having an in-person BRICS summit. There was a rumor going around that this too could become an online summit. No, it's going to be face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, and it's going to happen here. And this summit takes place at a challenging time for the global community. Many countries, especially those with developing economies, are still recovering from the pandemic, which in many ways had a devastating effect on human health. Societies were also negatively affected, and the economies of many of our countries were really devastated. The pandemic deepened inequality and set back the social development that many countries were on the path to enhancing and to making better. And it set us as South Africa back as well, in a way that sometimes we don't even begin to imagine. We lost 2 million jobs in the space of a year. And when you think that, creating 1 million jobs, and some people think that countries can create 1 million jobs, particularly ours, can create 1 million jobs in a short space of time. It doesn't happen like that. At times, at most, we create something like 350,000 jobs. In the Jobs Summit, business, labor, government and community-based organizations all spoke about, and with great enthusiasm and a great commitment, we spoke about creating 375,000 jobs. And that was like seen as a great achievement. And when I looked at this, and I looked at the various mechanisms that would be used, I saw that we all do realize that it's not so easy to create as many jobs as that. And once we had actually crafted that agreement at the summit, we never really got to that level. I'm saying this because losing 2 million jobs within a space of a year is a devastating thing to our economy. And our economy, as you recall, tanked it just went into negative. And to show that our economy is resilient. And listening to my sister, Thandi Olane, saying that they are, as Impala, one of the most optimistic about the country and its economy, is quite comforting. And to see them committing 10 billion rand investment over the next 5 years is also quite heartwarming and forward-looking. And we know that it's going to create jobs. But having lost, and let's give Impala a round of applause for that, but having lost so many jobs and to have regained almost 1.2, 1.3 million jobs again, which we've been able to do within a fairly short space of time, shows the robustness of our economy. We still have a long way to go to recreate and to regain those jobs that were lost. And of course, we need to increase our job creation capacity. And I was just commenting on that just to demonstrate the challenges and the great difficulties that the pandemic wrought on our people. And you might recall that we pulled out all stops and laid out almost 10% of our GDP to assist and to support businesses, workers, and our people, and started a most wonderful program of supporting the unemployed. And it reached a level of 11 million people, and we gave them a small amount because our fiscus is challenged. And with that, many of them were able to show up their own lives, and we were able to do that rollout of giving 11 million people, and it's come down a little bit now, but 11 million people grants in a short space of time. It also showed the capability, the ability in government of being able to embark on such a huge process. And sometimes we don't realize some of the good things that we do. Like, for instance, rolling out vaccines. It was the biggest project that this country has ever embarked upon, to vaccinate millions of people all in a short space of time. And we did. But we did it together, working together as government and business and labor and civil society. The pandemic in itself showed us the vital importance of global cooperation and solidarity. And some of the BRICS countries came in to assist greatly. And I recall picking up the phone late at night, phoning President Xi Jinping and saying we want PPEs, we want to have PPEs because the Chinese companies were producing PPEs by the millions. But we also said we want them at a reasonable price, and that is exactly what we got. So it showed the wonderful cooperation that the BRICS family has to offer to us, that even in a time of great challenge, we were able to rely on the strength of some of our BRICS countries' members. And as we strive even now to recover from COVID-19 and prepare to confront future health emergencies, our efforts must be inclusive and equitable even as we work together as the BRICS family. Not only do we need to direct resources to low and middle income countries to enable them to rebuild their economies, but we need to ensure that they do have access to global supply chains. Something that we really established, particularly for the PPEs on our continent, and thanks to the support and the assistance from BRICS countries. The recovery from COVID is made more difficult by the trade tensions, as well as the rising costs of food and other basics, as well as the Ukraine-Russia conflict. There is an important role for BRICS in navigating this difficult environment as well, because even amidst all these challenges, we still need to find ways of working together. In the first instance, BRICS countries can expand trade and investment between themselves, alongside cooperation in areas of skills, technology, and innovation. BRICS countries can also use their powerful collective voice in the international arena to promote inclusive multilateral solutions to the current global crises. At a time of great global instability and uncertainty, it is people from developing economy countries that face the greatest challenges. The BRICS countries are therefore committed to the transformation of global governance so that these institutions, these global institutions, are better able to represent all countries of the world on an equitable basis and to more effectively address the needs of those who are most vulnerable. Now, all BRICS partners agree on the need to resist any effort to replace the practice of multilateralism and cooperation with narrow nationalism and unilateral actions, which is often a temptation when crises that engulf the world or even certain parts of the world come about. The temptation is always to go for unilateralism, and we would argue that we should go for multilateralism. Because this principle is important in responding to the effects of crises, including things such as climate change. Communities across the world are being exposed to extreme weather events causing flooding, wildfires, and many other dangerous incidents that are given rise to by weather changes. That is why we've been pressing industrialized countries to mobilize resources for people in poorer countries to adapt to the effects of climate change and to undertake transitions to lower carbon economies that are just, that are inclusive, and support their developmental aspirations. My sister Tandi Olei touched on this, and also as she outlined the work that they are doing as a corporation in this area. Now, South Africa has always championed the interests of Africa within BRICS. As part of our strategic intent to further advance the African developmental agenda within the BRICS group, we are inviting several other African countries to come to the BRICS summit next month. So the BRICS moment for us is not only going to be limited to the 5 countries, it's going to be much broader than that as we put into practice what we call the BRICS outreach, Africa outreach, where we invite Africa to come as well. So our country, and we will want to talk about this so that even the people of our country understand this very well. So our country will be playing host to many other countries during this summit, and of course from other regions of the world as well, particularly those heads of various regional bodies. One of the priorities during our chairship of BRICS is to build a partnership between BRICS and Africa to unlock mutually beneficial opportunities for increased trade investment and infrastructure development. We are focusing in particular on opportunities that will generate economic growth on our continent, particularly through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. There are great opportunities for BRICS countries to participate in a variety of infrastructure development projects, as well as on the trading side by locating their production and service activities in the continent and partnering with local companies and local entrepreneurs. I was particularly pleased to hear that during the course of the day, you were all able to listen to young people outlining their own entrepreneurial activities and how they are beginning to trade with other parts of the world as well as our continent as well. This is very pleasing, and I'm glad that the Minister of Small Business Development is here with us, because she's a real champion when it comes to this. A practical example of the contribution of BRICS to the advancement of countries of the Global South is the new development bank, which was established to provide financial support to emerging market and developing economy countries for infrastructure and sustainable development. Now, this new development bank has to date approved 11 projects in our country, valued at around 100 billion rand, and some of them in areas such as road building, road improvement, ports, water provision, and energy. Now, this is phenomenal. Sitting next to the Minister of Transport, Minister Chikunga there, and she telling me that this is the usual question I ask ministers. I often ask them, how are we doing? How are the priorities that you spoke to me and the Deputy President about? And she was telling me that, President, we are doing well. We are beginning to roll out and to focus on roads, yes, even closing potholes and all that. So work is underway, and believe you me, this is one time when I actually see the ministers doing great work. Not that they were not doing before, but they are doing great work. So the BRICS New Development Bank has come in to give us a great deal of boost and support. In 2021, the bank welcomed countries as members such as Bangladesh, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and Uruguay as new members. Now, this family positions this new development bank, the BRICS Bank, as an important global financing mechanism for emerging markets and developing economies. Now, the world's problems will not be solved unless we solve them together. And this also testifies to the standing that many countries in the world see BRICS being there for. As we speak now, close on to 20 or so other countries want to join BRICS, and they want us to admit them into the BRICS family. So at this summit, we are also going to be discussing the prospect of whether BRICS grows beyond the 5 countries or not, and many countries, some 20 or so, are lining up, standing at the door, and saying we see that BRICS as an important forum that focuses on development, focuses on progress. We want to join. So we've admitted some into the bank. Now some don't only want to be in the bank, they want to come through the front door and be members of BRICS as well. So we are going to be discussing that as well. that goes to demonstrate the standing of BRICS in the world. Now, the BRICS political party dialogue is an important opportunity to bring together various social formations to discuss these complex challenges, to share experiences, to exchange views, and more importantly, to find solutions. I'm certain that this gathering, alongside the nearly 200 BRICS meetings and events that are taking place this year, will bring our respective nations even closer together. And our relations have to get closer together because you cannot hold 200 meetings across a variety of disciplines and not find common ground and not improve the relationship that you have. And it will also contribute to our shared effort to build a better, more just, and more prosperous future for all. And in the course of all this, when we meet, we will be discussing the various crises, as I said, that are taking place around the world. Yes, we will also discuss the crisis in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, the crisis that got 7 African countries to travel all the way beyond 3,000 kilometers to try and see what contribution can be made. Earlier tonight, I spoke to President Zelensky, and we discussed a number of issues that flow from the discussion that we had with him. And he appreciated our visit to Ukraine, and he said he thought that was a positive visit, and he looks forward to further engagements. And today we also spoke about an important issue of the 10 points that we had set out, and particularly the release of the children who have to be taken back to their own country and their own parents. And he appreciated the work that South Africa is doing in that regard to address precisely this and a number of other issues. And today we will continue discussions also with other leaders within BRICS as we prepare for the summit. So our country, therefore, continues to play an important role in trying to see how best conflicts can be resolved. And these will be discussed also at the BRICS summit. We will also discuss the economic situation in the world and how best BRICS, as I was saying, can make a contribution to the development of our continent. So we look forward to the wisdom that can come from yourselves. And today you were able to discuss a whole number of things, and I look forward to reading some of the outcomes of your panel discussions and group discussions, because we would like to use some of those ideas to make a contribution as we move forward to develop our continent. So what now remains for me is to thank the TG, and indeed to thank the Patriotic Business Forum for having convened this colloquium today, and also to thank all of you, and I've heard great things that were discussed, to thank all of you for also coming to this dinner. It's an important forum for us to get people from various business organizations to sit down and to talk about what patriotism as a business people means, because this is the forum where we become patriotic, where we exude the positivity that Thandi Olei was talking about, because we should never give up. Much as we have challenges, much as our country and people face challenges, we should keep on moving forward and never give up because we have an important task ahead of us to bequeath this country to the next generation so that they can even make it better. So thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the President of the Republic of South Africa. Please, a big round of applause for President Cyril Ramaphosa. His words were certainly very, very fitting. And so much that he has said is very exciting indeed. We all now have been really enthused regarding the upcoming BRICS Summit and all the amazing things that will come with, and all, of course, the great benefits that it will also have for so many South Africans. So we're all really excited for that BRICS Summit, and I'm sure everyone is already putting it on their calendars as a day, or in fact a week, not to miss out on as well. Some of the other words that the President definitely spoke about that are also quite important, especially right there at the end, was that what we're doing today is something that will impact future generations. And it's so important that we, of course, do it with such diligence that we be remembered as the people who really made the mark and a big difference in the years, of course, that follow. In fact, it is so fitting because it ties in quite well with what Mr. Ruben Chabeling said right at the conclusion of the first part of the program, where he in fact also mentioned that this is our time to create a better future for the future generation. And of course, repositioning BRICS will benefit our people. And not only that, but it will be a moment that will be remembered in history as a big milestone. And you, the people who make the decisions today, are those people that will be read in history books as the ones who made the big impact. So a big round of applause to everyone here present, and again to the President. So, ladies and gentlemen, such a great night has to come to an end after all. It's been a pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege being your host. And I now have to hand over to a lady who's going to give us our closing remarks and a vote of thanks. And please, can we all welcome onto stage the multi-award-winning businesswoman and chairman of the board of the Independent Ports Regulator, and amongst many other positions that she holds. Please welcome onto stage Miss Gloria Seroba.
Your Excellency, President Ramaphosa, and all your honored guests in this room, good evening. My name is Gloria, and when my surname is not mentioned, my name is Gloria Tomato Sro. My full-time job is that of being a founder and a group CEO of Withhold. I mention this, President, because we are one of the few companies that we want the whole world to know that we are a beneficiary of the ANC enabling policies. So we can't disown this because we are 30 years this year. So we were created in 1993. You were not in government yet. So when we say ANC policies, we mean literally not in a by the way through government. 1993, you were government in waiting. So being a pioneer is a burden because we can't embarrass you now. We have to win at all costs. We have to succeed at all costs. We have to be upright. But we do want you, when you write your chapter on your successes of what you've done, please be bold there, because we will not embarrass you. I am standing here on behalf of the Treasurer General, Dr. Gwen Ramaphosa, to say the thank yous. But I have to mention this, that it almost came out of the blue for us as women of South Africa that ANC can trust its money with a woman. We were so chuffed by this, we were so excited, you have no idea. We made a party for ourselves now. But the main thing was, we needed to tell her that she's going to succeed at all costs.